An almighty war of words has broken out between Elon Musk and the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, after Musk claimed on Monday that the violent riots sweeping the UK meant that, quote, civil war is inevitable. So the Prime Minister slammed the comments, claiming there was no justification for it. But the billionaire owner of X, formerly Twitter, hasn't backed down, has he? After hundreds of Muslim men violently attacked a pub and an individual man in Birmingham last night, Musk today took to the social media platform to ask the Prime Minister, why aren't all communities protected in Britain? He went on to brand Starmer two tips.
Remember when Keir Starmer seemed to believe that staying silent made him appear strong? Here's the truth. Silence only works if no one's tearing you apart on live TV. Especially when it's Elon Musk doing the dismantling as if it's just a casual tech bro warm-up. Nothing screams leadership quite like being roasted by someone who treats public scrutiny the same way he handles Tesla deadlines. Lightly and without a hint of urgency.
He wants Elon Musk gone, X turned off, and freedom of speech stamped out. Starmer himself has said he's going to look at social media laws in the wake of the riots and even revisit the Online Safety Act. And right on cue, of course, the Westminster elite are now circling. Guardian columnists got their knickers in a twist, saying Musk should be on trial in the UK for inciting the riots. And Keir Starmer's champagne socialist biographer, Tom Baldwin, called for regulation of social media platforms, even saying free speech was not absolute. Make no mistake, the minority racist idiots who caused the worst of these riots have opened the floodgates for a power grab of our civil liberties under this Labour government. And it's a crying shame that it's a US-based South African who's the only one with the balls to stick up for British citizens.
Now, let's talk Elon Musk. This is the guy who once challenged Vladimir Putin to a cage fight on Twitter and bounces between topics like he's powered by pure espresso. Driven by boredom, or maybe just trolling, he launched a live TV tirade that effortlessly shredded Keir Starmer. Was Starmer even there? Of course not. Did that stop Musk from turning him into intellectual roadkill? Not at all.
Well, Danica, the boss of X or Twitter, Elon Musk, is in a brawl with Britain's Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. I must say, is acting like a weak man trying to be strong during this crisis. Starmer tweeted, "We will not tolerate attacks on mosques or on Muslim communities," to which Musk quite reasonably replied, "Shouldn't you be concerned about attacks on all communities?" Isn't Musk right? Hasn't he put a finger on something that's angering the anti-immigration rioters who talk about two-tier police?
While Starmer was probably off somewhere carefully arranging Labour leaflets or rehearsing working people without sounding like a glitchy robot, Musk went totally off script. He tore into politics, ran through Starmer's economic plans like a Tesla on autopilot aimed at a brick wall, then circled back to declare that Starmer's leadership feels like a botched software update.
You belong to a party that sent activists to America to actively plot to, and I quote, kill Elon Musk's Twitter. Labour activists in a centre for countering digital hate that was set up by a certain Morgan McSweeney, happens to be Keir Starmer's chief of staff. I wonder why Elon Musk has suddenly got a really strong interest in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Because let's be honest, Barry, all of those statements that Labour MPs made about Donald Trump, all of those bizarre statements they made about Elon Musk, guess what? These guys don't really like that. They don't like being abused. They don't like being insulted. So they're going to call you out when you fail, like when you fail with these white working class girls.
Here's the real problem. Keir Starmer leads as if he's terrified of a bad Yelp review. His policies don't feel bold, they come across like a dusty PowerPoint from 1996. Musk, meanwhile, treats subtlety the way he treats unions, like it's invisible. Watching him go after Starmer was like seeing a tidal wave crash into something that barely managed a ripple of resistance.
Prime Minister to a post by Elon Musk this morning suggesting that America should liberate Britain from a tyrannical government.
Let me deal with the health crunch because it's really important. Look, in relation to that, I don't really have any comment on the particular comment that was made this morning by...
Let's break down their leadership styles. Starmer has the charisma of a neatly organised office cabinet. Functional, sure, but far from electrifying. He can ramble for 20 minutes and say less than a celebrity fumbling through a vague award speech. Musk, on the other hand, zips through ideas on live TV at lightning speed, sometimes barely aware of which show he's on, yet lands more blows than the entire Conservative bench at PMQs. When Musk shredded Starmer's economic plans, he basically voiced what everyone was thinking. Unclear, flimsy, and about as inspiring as cold toast. Starmer's whole strategy feels built around giving the fewest promises while smiling stiffly, hoping no one asks questions. As if don't rock the boat were his entire persona. Musk saw this and laughed like he was watching someone tackle a problem they weren't even equipped for.
I kid you not. How can this be real? They are releasing convicted people from prison in order to put people in prison for Facebook posts.
To be fair, those are
thing.
Posts that criticize the government, so they have good reason.
They would actually, some of these posts that at least the ones I've seen, didn't actually criticize the government. Well, they were seen as sort of as hate speech.
Because they noticed the society getting crappier and crappier with every year.
There were migrant gangs in England that were gangs that would run around and prey on young girls. Some people found that objectionable. They were upset about that. And so they complained about it online and were sent to prison.
Because let's be honest, Starmer's boldest economic move so far is timidly hinting that maybe, sometime, somehow, we could think about reviewing a budget, eventually. And don't get me started on his energy policy. He talks about leading Britain into a greener future, but handles it like someone's scared of an electric kettle. He drops vague, clean energy promises, and the moment anyone asks for details, he mutters something about long-term planning and vanishes, like he's late for a painfully dull tofu dinner. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is out there building solar tech, overhauling energy systems, and launching satellites, because his toast got cold one morning. Now picture those two on live TV. Starmer drones on about hydrogen buses like it's 2004, and he's presenting to a jury of hyper-serious librarians, while Musk casually debates whether nuking Mars might advance science, all while ripping through Starmer's climate policy like a flimsy school essay.
I think the number of people that have been arrested for just social media posts is bananas. It's in the thousands.
Yes, several thousand people have been given prison sentences in the UK for social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence, but they just said it encouraged violence. I'm like, well, did anyone actually do anything as a result of that media post? Well, no. But they just and then they have a prison overcrowding situation in the UK, so they're quite literally releasing convicted people and putting people in jail for.
And then there's Starmer's notorious talent for dodging real commitments. If fence sitting were an Olympic sport, he wouldn't just win gold, he'd break the world record and then form a committee to debate whether it should really be bronze for fairness. Hesitation is basically his full-time job. Brexit? He supported it, opposed it, backed a second referendum, then accepted it again, but never in a way that invited tough follow-ups. Strikes? He's for workers, just not when they're actually striking. Public ownership? He likes the idea, but only in a soft, nostalgic, non-committal way. Musk, in contrast, treats commitment like a roller coaster designed by someone running on zero sleep. Reckless, messy, sometimes alarming, but impossible to ignore. He dives into chaotic decisions with the energy of an overexcited toddler. You might hate the ride, but at least it goes somewhere. Starmer? He's still outside the theme park, clutching a risk assessment and polling focus groups to see if roller coasters are politically safe.
Keir Starmer's Labour has not only become a headache to the British people. Now, Elon Musk has targeted Labour since they recently announced the painful October budget. Elon Musk didn't like Labour's implementation of the inheritance tax on the UK family farms, and criticised Keir Starmer's Labour for making those changes. On X, formerly known as Twitter, Elon Musk wrote, "We should leave the farmers alone. We owe farmers immense gratitude for making the food on our..."
Let's not forget how Starmer, with his impeccably beige centrism, manages to annoy both left and right at once. He tells workers he's on their side, then vanishes the moment a union actually expects him to show up, like ghosting a friend who texts too many heart emojis. That's not leadership, it's a perfectly staged, disappearing act. Musk didn't need a 40-page briefing to expose it, he did it with the subtlety of a wrecking ball. Starmer is confused, overmanaged pandering wrapped in a Marks & Spencer suit, delivering world-class indecision on the Westminster stage. He doesn't walk the political tightrope, he turns it into a bureaucratic obstacle course, then forgets which way leads out.
On Elon Musk, I do need to ask you this. He called your safeguarding minister, Jess Phillips, an evil witch, a rape genocide apologist who should be put in jail. Does that sort of abuse of a minister make you feel angry? And what is your response to that? Thank you.
On the question of Elon Musk, look, I think most people are more interested in what's going to happen to the NHS, frankly, than what's happening on Twitter. But you asked me a really important question that's been in the news for the last few days. I am going to, with permission, just answer it quite...
Then there's the question of vision, or, in Starmer's case, the glaring lack of one. His version of vision feels like staring through a fogged-up car window in November, bleak, blurry, and mildly depressing. He talks about progress, then rolls out policies so uninspired they make beige look vibrant. Musk, meanwhile, is out there discussing settling Mars and linking human brains to computers. Yes, it's unhinged, but at least it isn't soul-crushingly dull. And Musk didn't stop at policy. He went after Starmer's entire communication style. Starmer, who gives speeches like he's apologising for existing, was a perfect target for Musk's dry, dismissive humour. Musk basically implied, without saying it, that Starmer has the stage presence of a malfunctioning GPS. And honestly, he's not wrong. Starmer inspires no one. His speeches are the political equivalent of boiled cauliflower. Technically edible, utterly joyless. Musk just held that up and asked, "Is this really the man you want steering the UK through an economic meltdown?"
You just held your second Cobra in 2 days. Is that a sign of how worried you are about the situation?
The Cobra meeting was to coordinate our response to the disorder, and I made it very clear on a number of occasions that those involved will feel the full force of the law. So we coordinated, we went through some of the numbers. Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them...
Then Musk pivoted to AI and somehow circled back to roast Starmer. While discussing artificial intelligence, he casually noted that if anyone tried to program an AI to mimic human indecision, it would basically become Keir Starmer, a polite algorithm of uncertainty, neatly dressed in a sensible tie. And let's not forget how Starmer freezes under pressure. In a crisis, he reacts like a jammed printer, blinking lights, weird noises, zero output. Musk, who thrives in chaos like a raccoon rifling through a bin, couldn't resist highlighting the mismatch. Comparing them was like putting a soggy Weetabix next to a flamethrower. And Starmer's response after being roasted like a marshmallow at a tech festival? Exactly what you'd expect. Nothing. Classic Star routine. Deny, delay, then release a half-hearted statement packed with words like complexities, framework, and broad consensus. He's turned doing nothing into a full-blown political strategy.